Wildfires exploding in the southwest and the state of emergency in Arizona. The tunnel fire burning for more than 20,000 acres. Kaylee Hartog has the latest.
Whoa, whoa. Look at the world, look at the tragedy. Trust in your word, waiting on the majesty. Keep the command, make sure he ain't mad at me. He opened our eyes, all but we glad to see. He sending floods and fire. Tornadoes and earthquakes is coming alive. He sit in the place where you survive. He saw his father Jacob on the ride. We got the most side. 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 Look at the world, look at the tragedy. Keep the command, make sure he ain't mad at me. Look at the world, look at the tragedy. Keep the command, make sure he ain't mad at me. We got the most side. We got the spirit of Joseph, for famine is coming. I hope you prepared. He about to seal everybody that's in. The Israelites waking up out of the dead. The prophets wrote about it, how can we hear? Protected by the Father, why should we fear? Psalm 91 is all in my head. Acts 1 and 6, we almost there. This is the season, pray without season. Judging the herb, about to take out the Eden. 400 years we've been struggling, breathing. Going back home, this time we ain't leaving. Devil is man making war with the saints. Put that in our temple, he know that we ain't. Trusting this system, we know that we can't. Babylon falling and starting to stink like yeah. We know Messiah is coming in. Destruction is coming, feel it in the air. We got the most high, so why should we fear? Keep the commandments, salvation is near. War without Father, our brother, they dead. If you live in wicked, then he will not spare. We blow the trumpet, hoping that you will. We blow the trumpet, hoping that you will. Look at the tragedy, trust in your word. Waiting on the majesty, keep the command. Make sure he ain't mad at me. He opened our eyes, all but we glad to see. He sending floods and fire. Tornadoes and earthquakes is coming alive. He sit in the place where you survive. He saw his father Jacob on the ride. We got the most side. 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 Look at the world, look at the tragedy. Keep the command, make sure he ain't mad at me. Look at the world, look at the tragedy. Keep the command, make sure he ain't mad at me. We got the most side. Time is ticking, Messiah is coming. Look at the wicked, they about to get punished. You saw the children of Israel. Messiah is dragging us out of this hell. He's sending them players, but he gon' protect us. Michael was standing up, he won't neglect us. He threw us away, but he about to catch us. Recompense, they getting extra. He made a promise to Abraham. Fulfilling his word, we seeing it now. That place where they serve, I'm taking it down. He about to free everybody that's bound. Why they awaken the wrath for the Father? He sending famines and he sending lava. All but we know that nobody can stop you. They not repenting like you ain't the problem. Look at the tragedy, trust in your word. Waiting on the majesty, keep the command. Make sure he ain't mad at me. He opened our eyes, all but we glad to see. He sending floods and fire. Tornadoes and earthquakes is coming alive. He sit in the place where you survive. He saw his father Jacob on the ride. We got the most side. 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 Look at the world, look at the tragedy. Keep the command, make sure he ain't mad at me. Look at the world, look at the tragedy. Keep the command, make sure he ain't mad at me. 'Cause we got the most side.
Abraham, to Isaac, to Jacob. He never changed his mind. Yeah. Ancient promise written for the world, knew my name. Bloodline deeper than the scars in the chains. Lost sheep, brought me up scattered in pain. Still the shepherd calling Israel the saint. For me, just bridge to them ships on the sea. Every time we forgot who we destined to be. Other nations on our necks sit out on the throne. But the covenant still breathing in our bones. 12 tribe from Jacob, yeah, that's family tree. Every name card permanent in eternity. High walls, holy city, shining pure and clean. Ain't everybody chosen, that's just reality. We broke laws, fell down, paid the cost. Still his love never got lost. He said, wait on me to make it right. You don't worry at all. Write my laws in your heart, you see y'all won't fall. 12 gates, only 12 ways in. Next of Israel, carved in walking in. Angel posted it that it don't bend. If you ain't from Jacob, you can't get in. 12 gates, only 12 ways in. Angel readers are popping in. Angel posted it that it don't bend. If you ain't from Jacob, you can't get in. Ooh, ooh, he's staying true. Ooh, ooh, to Israel. Yeah, 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 yeah. We kept trusting in nations that was never for us. Let our enemies rise, yeah, that was our done. Serve strange gods, chase gold and fame. Still he called us holy by name. Every captivity, Assyria to Rome. Still he said Israel is my home. Son of God came looking for the sheep. Not the world, just the ones he keep. When he cracked that sky, roles gon' switch. Oppressors bow low, yeah, the scripture not wish. Those who ruled us, yeah, they gon' serve. Handmaids and servants, that's what the word preserved. From the beginning, he chose our side. Loved us first, never lied. Discipline hurt, but it kept us alive. Now we next in line. 12 days, guarded tight. 12 angels standing day and night. Only Israel got the right bloodline sealed by God's own life. 12 days, New Jerusalem. Rest from bondage, rest from fear. Slavery, the joy is here. Kingdom set for Israel. Ooh, 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 yeah, yeah. Ooh, 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 yeah, yeah. Ooh, 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 yeah, yeah. Kept commandments when it wasn't cool. Stayed 10 toes when the pressure ruled. They laughed when we was on our knees. Now they serving in the kingdom scene. Not pride, just prophecy. Everything happened like it's supposed to be. From Abraham to Jacob's son. Same God, same love, he ain't switch up one. Whoa, whoa, whoa. We've been through the fire. Whoa, but he never broke the promise. No. Sealed by God's alone, like cold 12 gates in Jerusalem. Rest from bondage, rest from fear. Slavery, the joy is here. Kingdom set for Israel. Oh, it does sound. Oh, from the start to the end. We finally home.
Ya Baraka, Ya Baraka, Yahweh, Yahweh, Waya Shamaka, Waya Shamaka, Yahweh, 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 Panyawa Al Yaka, Panyawa Al Yaka, Waya Khanka, Waya Khanka, Yahweh, Yahweh, Yasha Yahweh, Yasha Yahweh, Panyawa Al Yaka, Panyawa Al Yaka, Wayasham, Wayasham, Laka Shalom, Laka Shalom, Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shah, Yahweh Shah, Barak Rapah, Barak Rapah, Yahweh, Yahweh, Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shah, Yahweh Shah, Barak Rapah, Barak Rapah, Yasha Allah, Yasha Allah.
Shalom. Mike Allah will be on in a minute. He just got a little technical difficulties, but he getting it all going. So he just told me to let's let everybody know because he couldn't get a sound going. So he'll be on in a moment.
Oh shit! Did I kick him out? Shalom, can everybody hear me?
I hear you now, Mike.
You can hear me now? Okay, all praises, all praises.
Well,
Oh,
after
technical
after
difficulty.
chat, after chat though.
Oh yeah.
I hear you on the computer.
Can the chat hear me? All right, the water, sis, the water, Malak. All right, all praises. All right, Yahweh Hashem Yahushua Barakatham, Washamaratham, Salaki for the technical difficulties. This class is fairly easy, you know what I mean? But like I told everybody, or like I said before, I've been doing a lot of classes, a lot of milk classes, because it's very needed. So that way we don't lose our eye on the ball. You know what I mean? Sometimes we want to get into dark sayings, we want to get into mysteries and stuff like that. But we really need the milk in order for us to focus on what we need to be doing, right? So all praise and glory to Yahweh. The water for showing up for another class. Glad to see everybody. So the class is called What Are You Willing to Give? Now I shortened the title. It was a little longer, but you know, I didn't want to type all that in. I don't think the title would have fit. But it's really, we want a lot, but what are you willing to give? You know what I mean? Us as a people, we want for Yahushua to return, right? But let's be honest, are you ready? You know what I mean? We see the things that's going on in this nation, in this world, and we want to be done with it. And like I said, we just have to make sure that we're ready and that we're prepared. And a lot of classes that are just milk is the things that prepare us for it. You know, like when I did the series of Are You in the Spirit? You know, Bound by Duties, True Baptism, so on and so forth, right? So a lot of these milk classes is actually very detrimental to your salvation, right? One thing that we tend to do, and this is why the class is what are you willing to give? Because one thing we tend to do as a people, as a nation, as individuals, right, is we become very selfish. We become selfish in everything, right? We become selfish when it comes to our family. You know what I mean? We become selfish when it comes to our children, right? Back in the day, there used to be like, takes a village to raise a child, right? But nowadays, you're not letting no village help you raise your child. You know what I mean? It's my child, whatever. Salakia. So we become very selfish. Salakia. All right. So I'm going to start with that. Okay. So we're going to go to the etymology. There we go. Of selfish, right? Selfish is caring only for oneself, for self, characteristic of one who cares only or chiefly for his own personal pleasure, right? A lot of people tend to do this. You see, a lot of our people tend to do this, right? In relationships. I'm not going to get into a marital class, but I know I was in this class The brother Mavu, I'm not sure who all knows Mavu, but the brother Mavu and his wife was doing the class, and Priest was in the class. And one thing that was said by Mavu and his wife, mainly his wife, I don't know if y'all ever read their book, but they have a book on relationships, right? And one thing that they mentioned was people become very selfish in marriage. Like I said, I'm not going to get into a marital class. I'm just giving an example of selfishness. You see, people become very selfish, right? Because one person wants, or one of the parties wants to be happy. So now they're looking to the other person to make them happy. You see what I'm saying? So in return, you become selfish. But if you really look at marriage, even the vows of marriage, it requires duty, not who's making who happy, not who's, you know what I mean, loving the best, who's, you know what I mean, the nicest. Of course, all those things will come into play, but the selfishness is what makes a person view and look at certain things in a certain way, right? So we start to become selfish. And this is why this is called what are you willing to give? You see? So let's get off into it. That was just an example. Like I said, I'm not going to get into a marital class. So we're going to start right here. Philippians chapter 2. Philippians chapter 2 and verse 4 says, look not every man on his own things, but every man also on the things of others. You see that? So now when we go to judgment, you are walking that path alone. But when you're walking that path, you have to think, did you pour yourself out on others? Or did you keep it all to yourself? Was you being selfish? You know what I mean? Did you bury your might? Or did you go create more? You see what I'm saying? And we can say, a lot of people be like, oh no, I help my family, I help my friends, I'm there for them, I talk to them, I comfort them, you know what I mean? All that type of stuff, right? And that's cool because you're there. But let's face the facts, right? Is everyone in your family in the truth? So are you helping a heathen? Are you helping your people who is in the truth, right? Because Yahushua says, who is my brother, who is my sister, or who is my mother? You know what I mean? And he said, the people that do the will of the Father. You see what I'm saying? So these are the things that we have to look to. Right now, let's drop down to verse 21. Verse 21 says, for all seek their own, not the things which are Yahushua Mashiach. And we're going to get into that too, you know what I mean, of Yahushua. Remember, Yahushua is our example. So just like Paul says, follow me as I follow Yahushua, right? We have to keep this mindset, right? We have to keep this mindset. We tend to lose that mindset, and we tend to lose track and focus of what we're actually supposed to be doing for the Most High, for Yahushua, and for our people. We start to lose track because we become selfish. You know what I mean? Let's go 2 Timothy 3. 2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 2 says, for men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy, without natural without natural affection, truce breakers, false accusers, incontent, fierce, despisers of those that are good, traitors, heady, high-minded, lovers of pleasures more than lovers of Yahweh, having a form of godliness, but denying the power thereof. From such turn away. You see that? So we're supposed to turn those people away. But I've said this before, a lot of things we stand on and we don't allow until it hits our door, right? If it's our family, if it's our friends, then we're more accepting to a lot of things, right? So all these things that he listed will become more accepting to someone around us doing these things and being this way if they belong to us. You see what I'm saying? So someone can have a form, Salakia. Can y'all hear me all the way through? No, Elder is saying that there's slight silence. But y'all can hear me all the way through, right? Okay, calm. All right, so Salakia, y'all. So it says having a form of godliness, right? So you got, what's a form of godliness, right? You have some people that's in Christianity, you know what I mean? Not really knowing the truth, so they follow a certain form of godliness, right? Some people in the truth, you know, they might actually be wicked, you know, so on and so forth. But they might fall into these things that are just listed, you know. And why? Because it says right here, you know what I mean? For men shall be lovers of their own selves. You see, so this falls into the category of being selfish. All right. Let's go to 1 John chapter 3 and verse 17. 1 John chapter 3 verse 17 says, "But whoso hath this world's good, and seeth his brother have need, and shutteth up his bowels of compassion from him, how dwelleth the love of Yahweh in him?" You see, so when we turn people away, you know what I mean, turn people away and stuff like that, and you shunning your brother or shunning your sister because maybe you don't get along with them or whatever. I've told brothers in the truth, just because you my brother and I love you doesn't mean we have to be the best of friends. You know what I mean? That's not shunning them away. That's just saying we might not mesh like me and another brother. You know what I mean? Our sisters, all sisters might not mesh with every single sister like they do particular sisters. You know what I mean? It doesn't mean you have to carry it the exact same with everyone. But you can't be selfish also. You know what I mean? You can't just focus on self. A lot of people do that. A lot of people in the world do that. You know what I mean? So we have to pay attention to these types of things, right? Let's go 1 Corinthians chapter 10. 1 Corinthians chapter 10 and verse 23 says, "All things are lawful for me, but all things are not expedient. All things are lawful for me, but all things edify not. Let no man seek his own, but every man another's wealth." You want to see your brother lifted up. You want to see your sister lifted up. You want to see them doing good. You know what I mean? You're not going to hate on them. You're not going to, you know, oh, you're not doing it with me. You know, that type of thing. And I've seen a lot of that, not necessarily in the truth, but I have seen a lot of that in the world. You know what I'm saying? I've seen a lot of that in the world. So, you know, that's where you call, that's where that crab in the barrel type of thing comes. Like, he's not taking me with him, so I'm going to try to hold him down, or I'm going to hate on him. You see what I'm saying? We can't be like that towards one another, right? Let's get James chapter 4. And I'll start at verse 1. James chapter 4, verse 1 says, "From whence come wars and fightings among you? Come they not hence, even of your lusts that war in your members? Ye lust and have not, ye kill and desire to have, and cannot obtain. Ye fight a war yet ye have not because ye ask not. You see what I'm saying? So if we ask not and you're falling into your own lust, remember James says this in chapter 1, that you're tempted of your own lust, right? So if you're tempted of your own lust and you fall into it, you became selfish in that moment. You wanted to, you know what I mean? You wanted it to be a certain way. You wanted it to be how you wanted it to be. And this is a problem for a lot of people. I ain't gonna say a lot of Israel, but a lot of people. You know what I mean? I could say a lot of Israel. I'll say a lot of Israel that's not in the truth. You know what I mean? A lot of Israel wants the Most High to conform to them and not them conforming to the Most High. You see what I'm saying? A lot of people think that the Most High is what they think he is like and what he should be for them. No, it doesn't work that way. The Bible gives you a whole outline. You see what I'm saying? Gives you a whole outline. So what makes you think that the Most High is going to conform to your needs and your wants? No, especially not if you're doing his will. That's not happening, right? Let's go to Romans chapter 15 and verse 1. Book of Romans chapter 15 and verse 1 says, we then that are strong ought to bear the infirmities of the weak and not to please ourselves. Let every one of us please his neighbor for his good to edification. For even Yahushua pleased not himself, but as it is written, the reproaches of them that reproached thee fell on me. You see that? So Yahushua didn't do nothing for himself. He didn't do nothing for himself. He did the will of the Most High, and it came to the people. You see what I'm saying? And it came to the people. He didn't do nothing of himself. We don't think that way. We don't have that same like mind. And we need to have that same like mind. You know what I mean? We need to have that same like mind. All right? Let's get one more on selfishness. Let's get Luke chapter 6 and verse 32. Luke chapter 6 and verse 32. There we go. For if ye love them which love you, what thank have ye? For sinners also love those that love them. And if ye do good to them which do good to you, what thank have ye? For sinners also do even the same. You see that? So he's like, what does it matter? You know what I'm saying? This is why I gave an example of like a marriage when you can be selfish, right? Because you're looking for someone to treat you a certain way in order for you to treat them a certain way. You see what I'm saying? You're looking for that. You want them to be a certain way with you, and then I'll be a certain way with them. You see what I'm saying? But that falls into our selfishness, because like Yahushua just said, even sinners like those things, they'll do the same thing. So what makes you any different? Right? So what are you willing to give? We started off with selfishness, right? Now, I kind of broke this down as 3 other different things, right? Surrender and offer yourselves. And selfishness, surrender and offer yourselves, and serve rather than be served. So I broke these down in 3 categories. You see what I'm saying? So to surrender, right? Because we have to surrender to the Most High, right? So let's go to Matthew chapter 6. What's the first thing that you should be looking forward to, right? Chapter 6, verse 33 says, but seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. Take therefore no thought for the morrow shall take thought for the things of itself. Sufficient unto the day is the evil thereof. Right? So what do we need to do? First, seek first the kingdom. Now, everybody in this class understands. I don't know. I don't know. Lord's will, y'all can hear it. So first thing we need to do is seek first the kingdom, right? We all know in here how to get the kingdom. You see what I'm saying? Keep the commandments, have faith in Yahweh, right? First things we need to do to obtain the kingdom. So seek first the kingdom, right? Now let's get 1 Peter 5. 1 Peter chapter 5 and verse 6. 1 Peter chapter 5 verse 6 says, humble yourselves therefore under the mighty hand of God, that he may exalt you in due time, casting all your care upon him, for he careth for you. Right? It's hard for a lot of us to do that, to put our care, to put all our care upon the Lord, right? Now we can say that, because no one wants to be told that they don't have faith or they lack faith. We can say it, but do you really? Or do you start to take things into your own hands when it comes to certain things? You know what I mean? Do you cast all your cares, all your worries and concerns upon him? Maybe, maybe not. This is why I said one category of this class is to surrender. We have to surrender to the Most High, right? You have to surrender to the Most High. Let's go back to James. James chapter 4 again and verse 7. James chapter 4 verse 7 says, submit yourselves therefore to God. Resist the devil and he will flee from you. Draw nigh to God and he will draw nigh to you. Cleanse your hands, ye sinners, and purify your hearts, ye double-minded. Be afflicted and mourn and weep. Let your laughter be turned to mourning and your joy to heaviness. Humble yourselves in the sight of the Lord, and he shall lift you up. You see? So this is part of our surrender. We have to surrender all the way to the Most High. This is something that we got to think about. Like, are you really surrendering? You know what I mean? Are you really surrendering? If you're married, right, and you are a rebellious wife, are you just rebellious to that righteous husband, or are you rebellious to the Most High? Because the Most High is the one who put that in place, right? So are you truly surrendering to the Most High? Right? Let's go to Mark. Mark chapter 14 and verse 36. Oops. Mark chapter 14, boom, and verse 36. Okay, there we go. It says, and he said, Abba, Father, all things are possible unto thee. Take away this cup from me. Nevertheless, not what I will, but what thou will. Right? We're here to do the Most High's will, not our own. Not our own. We got to get that out of our head. You know what I mean? We're not here to do our own will. When we start leaning into ourselves, we start neglecting the Most High. We start to fall into that selfish category, right? It's not our will that must be done. It must be the Most High's will to be done. You see? Let's get Psalms chapter 40. Psalm chapter 40 and verse 8. It says, I delight to do thy will, O my God. Yea, thy law is within my heart. Right? What is the will of the Father? For us to keep the law, statutes, and commandments. So for those of y'all that don't follow law, statutes, and commandments, you know what I mean, that might break a couple of them because whatever the case, because friends, family, because you're selfish, because you can't seem to get away from certain sin. You know what I'm saying? Keep in mind that that is part of the Most High's will to follow the law, to keep that in our hearts. You see what I'm saying? Let's get another one. John chapter 4. John chapter 4 and verse 34. John chapter 4, verse 34 says, Yahushua saith unto them, my meat is to do the will of him that sent me and to finish his work. You see that? It's not ours. It's not ours. Right? Nothing of this belongs to us. Keep this in mind. I'm going to jump down. Let's go to Proverbs. Let's go to Proverbs 23. Proverbs 23 and verse 26. Proverbs 23 and verse 26 says, my son, give me thine heart and let thine eyes observe my ways. Right? Whose ways? The Most High's. Because the people that are writing these things down, David, Solomon, Isaiah, so on and so forth, right? They are the ones following the Most High, showing us the things that the Most High is saying, the things that we're supposed to be following, the way to surrender to the Most High. Remember when David, the sin that was upon David, he surrendered. He laid for 7 days. And then when the child died, he got up and was like, ain't nothing I could do about it now. You see what I'm saying? Ain't nothing I could do about it now. So he surrendered to the Most High, right? This is our job. Remember, in Ecclesiastes, the whole duty of man is to follow the law, right? To keep the commandments, right? Keep the commandments. We tend to lose track of that. But we tend to lose track because we don't know, like when we read the commandments, when we read the law, we think that it's very plain, very simple. But a lot of the law that's given to you has to do with your brother and your sister as well. It has to do with your people. You see? It doesn't have to do with you being selfish or doing it on your own or trying to follow your own thing and, you know what I'm saying, I'm going to do what I want. Nah, that's not what the law is laying out. The law is you doing the will of the Father, following Yahushua and having faith in him, keeping the rest of the law, and loving your neighbor, right? Remember, Yahushua says the 2 commandments, love God with all your heart and all your soul, love your neighbor as you love yourself, right? But he says all the laws hang on those 2. So we got to keep this in mind when we're surrendering to the Most High, to your brother, to your sister. You see what I'm saying? You're surrendering unto the Most High when you do these things. All right, let's go to chapter 16. Chapter 16 and verse 3. Proverbs 16 and 3 says, commit thy works unto the Lord, and thy thoughts shall be established. Right? What's your works? Your works is going to be your fruit, right? So it's going to be you following the law. It's going to be you telling your brother or your sister the transgressions of the law. It's going to be you loving your brother and your sister. You know what I mean? Because how else are you showing the Most High that you are obedient and that you are a servant of his? You're not doing it sitting in the house by yourself like, oh, today, you know what? I'm going to just be by myself on the Sabbath and I'm going to just do my thing. I ain't breaking no law. You see what I'm saying? No, that's not what it is, because if you look at the Sabbath, it's a holy convocation. So, yeah, you're kind of halfway breaking the Sabbath, right? You see what I'm saying? If it comes to any of those Sabbaths, they're holy convocations, right? So if you just seclude yourself, or what do we be calling them? What is it called? What do brothers call them? Like a individualite. Individualite, right? You're an individualite. You're not really fulfilling the commandments to its fullest. You see that? You're not really doing that, right? Because are you surrendering to what the Lord's will? No. How you do it halfway and think you're surrendering? All right. Let's go to the book of Psalms, chapter 37 and verse 4. Psalm 37 verse 4 says, delight thyself also in the Lord, and he shall give thee the desires of thine heart. Right? Delight thyself. Let's see. Delight thyself in the Hebrew, right? Be delicate, dainty, soft, happy about. Take exquisite delight. Make merry over, make support. Remember, the laws are not grievous. You see what I'm saying? And he shall give thee desires of thine heart, right? Commit thy way unto the Lord. Trust also in him, and he shall bring it to pass. See? So when we are looking at surrendering, it is surrendering to the will of the Most High, right? It's surrendering to the will of the Most High. You see what I'm saying? You're not surrendering to yourself. The will of the Most High is for you to love your neighbor. So you're going to surrender to your neighbor in the sense of loving them, teaching them, lifting them up, so on and so forth, right? Now you're surrendering to the will of the Most High because this is part of it, right? Let's get another one. 1 Corinthians, and we all know this, 1 Corinthians chapter 6. And I'm going to start at verse 13. All right? I'm going to start at verse 13. So 1 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 13 says, meats for the belly, and the belly for meats, but God shall destroy both it and them. Now the body is not for fornication, but for the Lord, and the Lord for the body. And God hath both raised up the Lord, and will also raise up us by his own power. Know ye not that your bodies are the members of Hamashiach? Shall I then take the members of Hamashiach and make them the members of a harlot? God forbid. What? Know ye not that he which is joined to a harlot is one body? For two, saith he, shall be one flesh. But he that is joined unto the Lord is one spirit. Flee fornication. Every sin that a man doeth is without the body, but he that committeth fornication sinneth against his own body. What? Now know ye not that your body is the temple of the Holy Spirit, which is in you, which ye have of God. Ye are not your own. You see that? You don't belong to yourself. You don't own this. This is the Most High's. You don't belong to you. You see what I'm saying? For ye are bought with a price. We owe a debt. What's the debt we owe? Yahushua died and resurrected for us, right? We owe a debt. Therefore, glorify God in your body and in your spirit, which are God's, right? Your body and your spirit belong to the Most High. So, the most honorable thing you could do is surrender yourself to the Most High and to your people, right? Because doing it to your people, you're showing the Most High that you are an obedient child, right? Let's go to Romans chapter 12. And we all know this one too. Verse 1 says, I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God, that ye present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy, acceptable unto God, which is your reasonable service. You see that? We need to become living sacrifices, right? Why? Because we need to surrender to the Most High. It's not our will that needs to be done. It's his. You see, so we got to, like I said, we have to get out the selfishness And we have to keep the Most High in mind during this walk, because we all know this walk is not easy. This walk ain't easy at all. The further you get into the truth, the more in depth, the more you follow, the more you keep the law, statutes, and commandments, the more you have faith in Yahweh Shai, and you're keeping feast days and you're doing all this. How many of y'all have an issue every year at Feast of Tabernacles? I know I do. I know whatever camp we have going on, there's an issue during Feast of Tabernacles because he's going to try the spirit. You know what I mean? He's going to try the spirit. So we have to understand that we're doing these things for a reason, and it's the will of the Most High. Right? Let's go to Romans 6. Romans chapter 6. And I'll go to verse 13. Romans chapter 6, verse 13 says, neither yield ye your members as instruments of unrighteousness unto sin, but yield yourselves unto Yahweh as those that are alive from the dead, and your members as instruments of righteousness unto Yahweh. Right? We know what righteousness comes with. It comes with keeping the law. You see what I'm saying? Comes with keeping the law. You know? Let's drop down to verse 16. Know ye not that to whom ye yield yourselves servants to obey, his servants ye are to whom ye obey, whether of sin unto death or of obedience unto righteousness. God, verse 19. I speak after the manner of men because of the infirmity of your flesh. See that? That selfishness comes from the flesh. It doesn't come from the spirit. It comes from the flesh, right? For as ye have yielded your members servants to uncleanness and to iniquity unto iniquity, even so now yield your members servants to righteousness unto holiness, right? And unto holiness means to be set apart, right? Holy means to be set apart. You know what I mean? I know that we have families, we have friends and stuff like that. And I told y'all before, I'm not saying cut your family and friends off. No, not at all. But don't fall into the mischief that they fall into. Don't do the things that they do. You know what I mean? Separate from that. You know what I mean? Separate from that and surrender yourself to the Most High. Right? Let's go to the book of Psalms. Chapter 50. Book of Psalms, chapter 50 and verse 13. It says, will I eat the flesh of bulls or drink the blood of goats? Offer unto Yahweh thanksgiving and pay thy vows unto the Most High. You see? So we have to pay. What's our vow? If you go to, I'm not sure if y'all remember this, right? If you go to Exodus chapter 24, Exodus chapter 24, we were asked if we agreed with the law, statutes, commandments, and the ordinances. Us as a people agreed, and Moses sprinkled the blood on us. That sealed the covenant, right? So pay the vow unto the Most High. You see what I'm saying? We are bound to the Most High. We're bound by our law, statutes, and commandments unto the Most High. So we must surrender. We must offer ourselves, right? Let's go to chapter 69. Psalm 69 and verse 30. Psalm 69 and verse 30 says, I will praise the name of God with song and will magnify him with thanksgiving. This also shall please the Lord better than an ox or bullock that hath horns and hooves, right? Because the animals have nothing on us, and they know their master, they know their crib, you know what I mean? They know what to follow, they know exactly what to do, they know their job, so on and so forth, right? We don't. Remember, scripture says Israel, how does it say it? Israel knows not? Is that what it says? Or thinks not? Salakia. I know I'm probably butchering that, but y'all get the idea, right? Okay. Let's go back to 1 Corinthians chapter 5. 1 Corinthians chapter 5 and verse 7 says, "Purge out therefore the old leaven, that ye may be a new lump as ye are unleavened. For even Christ our Passover is sacrificed for us. Therefore let us keep the feast with not with old leaven, neither with the leaven of malice and wickedness, but with the unleavened bread of sincerity and truth." Right now, this actually is going into a certain feast day, right? But we do understand that we can't come to the Most High with that old leaven, with that, with that same sin. You know what I mean? You can't come to the Most High however you want. That is not a thing. You know what I'm saying? That is not a thing. So we need to purge out that old leaven, right? Let's go to chapter 4. 4 and verse 16 says, "Wherefore I beseech you, be ye followers of me." You see? Be followers of him, right? Because he followed Yahushua. You know what I mean? We have these examples. We just tend to forget them, and we tend to neglect them, right? Let's go to Hebrews 13 and verse 15. Hebrews 13 and verse 15 says, "By him, therefore, let us offer the sacrifice of praise to God continually. That is the fruit of our lips, giving thanks to his name." Right? Sacrifice of praise is us giving thanks to his name. That's why a lot of the scriptures that I was just pulling out had to do with Thanksgiving. You know what I mean? Had to do with Thanksgiving, because you're thankful of, like David says, he's thankful for his laws. He's thankful for his commandments. He's thankful for these types of things. You see what I'm saying? He's thankful for them. So we need to be the same way. It is a sacrifice for us to turn away from our own will and our own lusts. Yeah, it's a sacrifice. We're fighting it. We're battling it. You know what I mean? So you sacrifice unto the Most High, and the Most High will reward you, because you're not doing your own will. Let's go to 1 Peter chapter 2. 1 Peter chapter 2 and verse 5. 1 Peter chapter 2 and verse 5 says, "Ye also as lively stones are built up a spiritual house, and holy priesthood, to offer up spiritual sacrifices acceptable to God by Yahushua HaMashiach." Right? Spiritual sacrifices. So it doesn't have, we're not slaughtering bulls and goats anymore, right? We're not offering those things anymore. You know what I'm saying? We become the sacrifice. We become the offering pertaining to Psalms chapter 51, right? Matter of fact, here, I'll take you there real fast, just to show you what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? Just to show you what I'm talking about. We become that sacrifice, right? Which means our spirit and our lips, right? This is Psalms 51 and verse 15. It says, "O Lord, open thou my lips, and my mouth shall show forth thy praise. For thou desirest not sacrifice, else would I give it. Thou delightest not in burnt offering." The sacrifices of God are a broken spirit, a broken and contrite heart. O God, thou wilt not despise. Right? So we become a sacrifice, and we're doing it spiritually with thanksgiving, with loving our neighbors, with following the Most High's law, statutes, and commandments. You see what I'm saying? And not having them be grievous and stuff like that, right? This becomes a sacrifice for us. You know what I mean? Because you're living according to the Most High's will and not your own, right? Let's go Ezra. Ezra chapter 3. Ezra chapter 3 and verse 11 says, and they sang together by course in praising and thanks, Salakia. And they sang together by course in praising and giving thanks unto the Lord, because he is good, for his mercy endureth forever toward Israel. And all the people shouted with a great shout when they praised the Lord, because the foundation of the house of the Lord was laid. Right? Now, this has had to do with rebuilding the temple and stuff like that, right? But we don't have a standing temple. We are the temple. So we need to come together. We need to praise the Most High for having mercy and grace towards us. You see what I'm saying? Praise him in all things that we do. Right? Let's go to Nehemiah. Nehemiah chapter 12. Nehemiah chapter 12 and verse 43 says, also that day they offered great sacrifices and rejoiced, for God had made them rejoice with great joy. The wives also and the children rejoiced, so that the joy of Jerusalem was heard even afar off. Right? So right now, like I said, we are looking forward to the destruction of this Babylon, the destruction of these Edomites and stuff like that. You know what I mean? But remember that we have to endure to the end. So if we endure to the end, this rejoicing and offering of great sacrifices unto the Lord, which is giving thanks as well, you know what I mean? We will rejoice in those things, right? It's not just going to come. It's not just going to come because we are Israelites. No, we have a job to do in order for things to happen. It's not just going to happen. It doesn't work like that. Unless you're waiting and you're doing nothing, then you just might not be you might be part of the 2/3, right? Let's go to the book of Psalms, chapter 107 and verse 21. It says, oh, that men would praise the Lord for his goodness and for his wonderful works to the children of men, and let them sacrifice the sacrifices of thanksgiving and declare his works with rejoicing. See that? This is a sacrifice of praise, us being very thankful, truly and righteously unto the Most High. You know what I mean? Not that fake thanks, you know what I mean? Oh, thanks for my car. Thanks for my house. You know what I'm saying? Yes, you can be thankful for those things. But the sacrifice of praise is to actually be thankful that you have these laws, statutes, and commandments. Thank you that the Most High is keeping you in his bosom. Thank you that the Most High is keeping his right hand upon you. You see what I'm saying? Those types of things, those types of sacrifices of praise. You see what I'm saying? Because even the wicked have material things. You see what I'm saying? So yes, you can be thankful for those things. But that's not going to be your sacrifice of praise. It's going to be spiritual sacrifice, right? Let's go to Ephesians chapter 5 and verse 19. Ephesians chapter 5 verse 19 says, speaking to yourselves in psalms and hymns and spiritual songs, singing and making melody in your heart to the Lord, giving thanks always for all things unto God and the Father in the name of the Lord Yahushua HaMashiach. All praises. You see what I'm saying? These are your sacrifices. These are your surrenderings and your offerings to the Most High. Right? These are the surrenderings. These are your sacrifices. All right? The last portion of this of what are you willing to give is serve rather than be served. Everyone wants to. Look, there can't be 5 heads. You know what I'm saying? There can't be 5 heads on a body. So understand that you're gonna have to serve. Even Yahushua, who is the head of us, was a servant. Right? Let's go there. Let's go to Matthew chapter 20. Matthew chapter 20. There we go. Okay. Matthew chapter 20, verse 28 says, Salaki, even as the Son of Man came not to be ministered unto, but to minister, and to give his life a ransom for many, right? What does the Greek say a minister is? And you can look it up in the Hebrew as well, because Joshua was Moses' minister, right? To be a servant, attendant, domestic, to serve and wait upon. That is what it is to minister, right? So Yahushua didn't come to be ministered to. He came to be a minister. He came to serve. That's what Yahushua did. He came to serve. You see what I'm saying? He came to serve the people, and he came to serve the Most High. You see what I'm saying? Came to serve the Most High. You know what I mean? Now let's go to another one, right? And we're going to wrap it up soon because I know you guys get the point. We'll go to Luke. Luke chapter 22. Luke chapter 22 and verse 27. Right? It says, for whether is greater, he that sitteth at meat or he that serveth? Is not he that sitteth at meat? But I am among you as he that serveth. So Yahushua tells you himself that he's a servant. This is what we need to be. I've pointed this out before, right? The higher you become in a congregation, right? So we got me, we got my good brother Michael Allah in Detroit, we got Elder Karab, so on and so forth, right? So the higher we become in lines of Israel, the more we become servants. Because we're here for the people. We're the ones teaching classes. We're the ones getting your phone calls when you need help or counsel, so on and so forth. So we become more servants than a higher power. You know what I'm saying? We're not doing that. We become servants. You see that? Let's go to the book of John, chapter 13. Book of John, chapter 13, and we'll start at verse 4. It says, he riseth from supper and laid aside his garments and took a towel and girded himself. After that, he poured water into a basin and began to wash his disciples' feet and to wipe them with the towel wherewith he was girded. Then cometh to him Simon Peter, and Peter saith unto him, Lord, dost thou wash my feet? Yahushua answered and said unto him, what I do thou knowest not now, but thou shalt know hereafter. Peter saith unto him, thou shalt never wash my feet. Yahushua answered him, if I wash thee not, thou hast no part with me. Simon Peter saith unto him, Lord, not my feet only, but also my hands and my head. Right? So this is not just the meaning of him washing his feet, right? They have to be cleansed. This is a symbolism, right? But the real point is the humility, the servitude that Yahushua is showing. You see what I'm saying? The servitude that Yahushua is showing. That's what he's doing, right? Verse 10, Yahushua saith unto him, he that is washed needeth not save to wash his feet, but is clean every whit. And ye are clean, but not all. For he knew who should betray him. Therefore he said, Ye are not all clean. So after he had washed their feet and had taken his garments, he was set down again, and he said unto them, Know ye what I have done to you? Ye call me master and Lord, and ye say, Well, for so I am. If I then, your Lord and Master, have washed your feet, ye also ought to wash one another's feet. For I have given you an example that ye should do as I have done to you. Verily, verily, I say unto you, the servant is not greater than his Lord, neither he that is sent greater than he that sent him. If ye know these things, happy are ye if ye do them. You see what I'm saying? Yahushua is showing them that they'll be servants. So when they go and be apostles and start teaching the word, they are not greater than Yahushua. You see what I'm saying? Yahushua served them because he's not greater than the Father. He was sent for a specific reason. He was sent to do the will of his Father, right? So he's not greater than the Father. They're not greater than him when they go and serve the people. This has to be our mindset, right? This has to be our mindset. Let's get two more and we'll wrap it up, right? Because like I said, now we're serving rather than being served. Let's get Galatians chapter 5. Galatians chapter 5 and verse 13 says, For brethren, ye have been called unto liberty, only use not liberty for an occasion to the flesh, but by love serve one another. You see that? Serve one another. A lot of our people, like I said, when we become selfish, we don't want to serve our people. Nah, we be selfish. But we're told to serve one another, right? One more and we'll wrap it up. Deuteronomy chapter 10 and verse 12. Deuteronomy chapter 10, verse 12. So who do we really serve? It says, And now Israel, what doth the Lord thy God require of thee? But to fear the Lord thy God, to walk in all his ways, and to love him, and to serve the Lord thy God with all thy heart and with all thy soul, to keep the commandments of the Lord and his statutes, which I command thee this day for thy good. See that? Like I said, fairly simple class, right? Simple class, but what are you willing to give? You know what I mean? Are you willing to put aside your selfishness? Are you willing to surrender and offer yourself to the Most High and to the people? Are you willing to serve rather than to be served? You see what I'm saying? These are the things that you need to ask yourself when you are looking at yourself as what are you willing to give unto the Most High? And we'll wrap it up right there. If you were edified, go ahead, throw a one in the chat for me. I know the sound been a little weird. I could see the sound bar moving, so. All praise the water. Okay, sis. It was looking weird to me. But all right, all praise. Glad you guys were edified. All right, y'all know tomorrow is Elder Zahab's class. Hope everybody stays tuned for that. And then we got Friday with the good brothers out there in Detroit. And Saturday, I believe good brother out there in Detroit is doing Saturday, if I'm not mistaken. I know he called me earlier, so look forward to that. But all praise and glory to the Most High. Like I said, glad you guys were edified. Y'all know I like it short and sweet and to the point. So all praise. So with that, like I said, I know Feast of Tabernacles is on its way. I'm pretty sure that everyone has their plans laid out and stuff like that. We got New Moon, Day of Atonement. You know, it's what, like 7 or 8 Sabbaths this next coming month. So hopefully everyone stays on point. But I say Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua Barakatham, Washamaratham. All praise and glory to the Most High. It's your brother, Sergeant Michael Allah, LOI, Colorado. And with that, I will say Shalom.
Please don't leave. Please don't leave me. Please don't go. Yeah. 'Cause I done fell off again. My bad decisions got me in a place of distraught again. Look in the mirror, I don't look the same. I guess I'm weird in my thoughts again. Try to dress it up, make it look pretty. Silently crying so no one can hear me. And I can't come to the phone. Just please leave me alone. Really, I'm scared. Don't wanna tell you I'm living in sin. The Most High forgave me of my sin. Don't wanna tell you I did it again. Nah, I just need to repent. I know. Get up, try it again. Righteous. Abba, please help me fight this. Whatever you do, don't take your spirit. Whatever you do, don't take your love. You can take anything from me, but I need you.
Yeah. Father in heaven, I'm having a crisis. You know how heavy this life gets. Fight the flesh with a tight fist, but I'm getting tired and I might slip. Might fall, but I don't trip, cause you're in control of my soul. So if any day I'm feeling hot or cold, I know you controlling them both. This here righteous man falls 7 times when I'm on fall number 88. I would've died in the hands of man, but it's all praise. I would give me grace. Father, free me from my worldly ways. I wanna see the 12 pearly gates. I fought the fight and I kept the faith. Christ took the charge, verse 48.
Whatever you do, don't take your spirit. Whatever you do, don't take your love. You can take anything from me, but I need you.
Yeah. Hallelujah. I get it, I'm weak in the flesh and I had to admit it. Had a cheat sheet for the test and I still fell short while bearing your image. Back to the trenches from Kemet, you feel a lot different about sin when you in it. I can have plenty of riches like Saul, but what's life if I'm dead in the spirit? Repeating my sin like a parent, forgive me for being a burden. Repent to the great physician, don't cut me off like a surgeon. Save me from the Medes and Persians, keep my gaze from the reach of the virgin. Everyone don't have the privilege of serving. I just wanna hear well done with the verdict. Good and faithful servant.
Father, I sinned.
Yeah.
Again.
Over and over again. Mercy, have mercy on me.
Have mercy.
I'm begging you to wash